Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. I hope you're doing well today. Welcome to Friendship Shaving. I'd like to give a little mention to Ian Smith, who bought a Weishi razor. And he let me know and I said I'd use mine on a video. So here we are, I'm going to be shaving with my Weishi razor. They come in different finishes and there is a long handled version, but this is mine. I'm going to be shaving with that today, with a Derby blade inside it, and it will be the Derby's third use. I quite like these blades, I must admit. And I'd like to say thanks to Vince. I sent Vince a couple of items and he returned the favour and sent me something from up near his home in Scotland. This is a Malt and Myrtle soap commissioned by the Groom, but it was actually made by the Shetland Soap Company up in Lerwick in Shetland. Fantastic soap. So let's get going, shall we? Now I've got my soap blooming. Has a little bit of water on it, and I'm just going to pull that off and rub a little bit of that onto my face. It smells quite strong and distinctive, this soap, to me, but it is very nice soap indeed. I'm going to be using my badger hair brush tonight, my silver tip in fact, and I've just had that soaking in some water there. It's an original fuller brush, a vintage brush with a silver tip knot in it. So I'm going to put that onto this soap. You can see that the soap is very dark and its ingredients include malt whiskey, and when you shave with it, I shaved with it yesterday, when you do shave with it, it imparts a warmth to your skin that is really, really nice. It would be a fantastic winter soap for a cold morning or a cold evening, whenever you shave. But yes, I really enjoyed it when I used it yesterday. Let me just show you the ingredients. I've forgotten to do that, haven't I? So I'll read off the tin. It has got bog myrtle, rosemary, natural honey, mixed spices and Aberfeldy single malt whiskey. Let me hold that up again just so you can have a look at that if you so wish. Now I must admit I did not know what bog myrtle was, but it is a resinous plant, and myrtle or bog myrtle grows in a bog, so if you were to pick it you'd get wet feet. But it has a very resinous scent, a very eucalyptusy type of scent. And actually when you smell the soap, you can smell the bog myrtle, and as a sort of, you can smell the spices. It includes cinnamon as well as spices, but there's a sweetness there with the honey. It's a nice soap, it's a very nice soap indeed. There we are, rub that into my face. I've just taken that off the top of the puck there. Now I haven't used my silver tip for a little while. Super, super soft. You can see, although that soap was quite dark, that the lather that it produces is really very white indeed. The scent is stunning, and apparently it's well known for keeping away midges and fleas. So once I've had my shave, I'll be alright. No midges will attack me. Now I find my silver tip brush is a very nice brush for using a sort of painting motion. This one I find doesn't splay so well. It does splay, but it's a little bit long and a little bit soft to use that way, although it works quite well enough. So I hope you've had a good day today. I have had a fantastic day. Just lately I've had a few little mail calls, and today I received an epic mail call, and I'll be making a further video on that and putting it out over the weekend. Honestly, it's been a very nice day today indeed. Now I found out a myrtle is also called gale or sweet gale. And Vince told me it was used in the head garlands for the winners at the Olympics. It is, it has been used traditionally for, are you ready for this? Treating parasites on the skin, but also for treating gonorrhea. So you can imagine, I think that it is quite potent. Now there we go, I don't want to add any more water to this. I find that with my silver tip, if I'm not very careful, all the soap goes down here, and this is one of the reasons that I use a painting motion with it rather than a splaying, scrubbing motion. Because if I do that, it just seems to drive the soap further down the knot. But there we go, that's very nice indeed. Now to clean myself up before I start. I did quite well on that ear this week. Normally I have a clump of soap behind my ears. Now I like my Weishi shaver. I haven't used it for a little while. It's a twist to open. As many of you will know, it is a very mild razor indeed. It is the mildest razor I own. It is based on a Gillette Super Speed, but I think it is milder than my black-handled Super Speed. Now I used this the other day, and I did actually manage to give myself razor blade with such a mild razor. And I know that might surprise some of you. It's because I hadn't used it for a little while. And I wasn't getting the angle quite right on some places. But also because it is such a mild razor. I found that I was going over the same part of my face again and again, and on my neck particularly. That caused me to have some irritation, so just be aware of that with a mild razor. You may not think that you will get a razor burn from such a mild razor, but of course if you keep dragging that razor blade across your skin, you will, as I found out to my cost. Now, it wasn't bad razor burn, don't get me wrong, but it was uncomfortable for a couple of hours. Quite uncomfortable. I think with a mild razor there is sort of even more of an inclination to press the razor onto the skin than you would have if you were using a slightly more aggressive razor. Anyway, that's something to think about, isn't it? Now, I'd just like to say thank you very much for everybody that took the time to comment upon last week's video. There were some really great comments, and a couple in particular caught my eye because Scotty was saying that there is almost a holy writ that with the grain means in this direction, against the grain means in this direction, and of course across the grain is a lateral movement in one direction or the other. Now Shaver-Thumb pointed out, and this was quite pertinent really, that on this part of his neck the hair grows from south to north, but towards the middle of his neck the hair grows from north to south, so presumably somewhere in the middle there's sort of a crossover area. So the traditional way of, the traditional thought that with the grain is from north to south might not quite work on all the areas of your face. Now, it is very true to say that a 3-pass shave going downwards, upwards and across will just about cover all the bases, but in those areas where you get irritation, and that's what we were talking about last week, it might just be bearing in mind and having a close look at the way your hair grows in those areas, because it may be that you're shaving against the grain when you think you are shaving with the grain, if that makes sense. Do you know, I like this soap, and the Shetland Shaving Company, the Shetland Soap Company, I've bought soap off them before. It was very similar to this, but it was a little bit stronger, and it used eucalyptus instead of the bog myrtle. But it was a good quality soap, again inexpensive, and as a company, they are part of, and I've got this written down because I want to get it right, they're part of COPE, which is a social enterprise scheme that allows adults with disabilities to participate in a fully producing and manufacturing business. I didn't word that quite as well as I would have liked, but you know what I mean. And that is, you know, that's something that I really champion. Do you know, I've been reading on one of the Facebook groups, I think it was a gentleman called Jim Co, put up the question, what advice would you give to someone that was relatively new to shaving with a DE razor? And I thought it was a good question. There were some very interesting responses. It sort of coincides with something that I'm thinking about doing. So I wanted to say, first of all, thank you, Jim. And I'll find a link to his shaving channel. But I wanted to ask it of you. Guys and girls out there, what tips and tricks or advice would you give to somebody that was less experienced than yourself? Now, I've thought long and hard about this because this journey that we're on is fantastic, and there's such a lot to learn and lots to buy, and when you first get started it can be a little bit overwhelming, so I would say that it's important to take your time and enjoy the journey wherever that might take you. And I urge you to shave in the evening, assuming that you have a day job. Obviously some people work the night shift, so maybe they would shave in the morning as their relaxing time, their downtime. But it is entirely different and much more enjoyable when you're shaving and you haven't got to rush to get out the door for work. So that really would be my number one piece of advice. My second bit of advice is that no matter how mild the razor you're using, it can catch you if you're not careful. Do you know, I've had 3 good shaves with this Derby blade, and I come on video and catch myself. I mean, that is just typical. face is super warm, and it's not, how can I put it, you know, it's not a reaction to anything, it's just a warmth from the soap. It's really quite nice. There we are, we'll rinse that off. And I'm just going to rinse my brush a little bit. And give it a shake so that you can see, even when wet, how big a bloom you get with a silver tip brush. Now I'm going to use my alum block. Aha, there it is, hiding up there. Now I haven't had to use this for a long time. I don't use it every time. I use it when I catch myself, as it helps stem the flow of blood a little bit. And I use it at the end of a shave if I feel that I'm already a bit sore before I walk out of the bathroom. So I know some of you guys love this stuff and use it all the time. And it is very good, and actually I'm a little bit sore there. So perhaps third use with the Derby blade, it's time to give it it's time to get rid of it, I think. The first two shaves was really sharp. There we are now. I'm just gonna leave that on for a moment. I'm going to reach for my cooling post-shave balm by Nivea Men. I've been looking on the German website for Nivea, and they have different products in Germany to the ones we have over here. You know, we're quite limited over here for Nivea stuff. I did write and ask, you know, why we can't get them in the UK, but so far they've been ignoring me. There we are. Now I've just wiped that alum block off. Got my little dropper of Nivea. I love this stuff. And then we are a shave for the evening. I'm all set for the rest of the evening. I can go outside safe in the knowledge that I will be midgie free after using my Malt and Myrtle soap. So that's my lot. So I hope you've had a good week, and I hope you have a good week next week. I'm waffling, aren't I? You take care of yourselves. All the very best to you. I'll see you soon with a mail call video, and it's very, very exciting, and look out for that one. See you soon. All the best to you now. Bye bye.